Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode number 2 of Full Throttle Files. I'll be your host, Michael Ritter, and I'm sitting here today with a wonderful guest, Brian Judy, and we're going to talk about his Unimog and a few other fun things from his youth and car life. Brian, welcome.
Welcome. I'm glad to be here.
It's great to have you. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about what originally got you into cars. What's your earliest memory?
My earliest memory is going to be with my father. He was a mechanic, and I was always the kid that offered to go and hold his tools and grab the wrench, and he was a mechanic on the side. He was a painter or whatever, so he just fixed all the cars there for his company. Side hustles, just like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. But yeah, I used to just go out there. We used to do the old 350 Chevy motors and rebuild the carburetors and help them do a lift kit. And he had an old Blazer that he had since I was a kid.
What year was the Blazer?
It was 1980.
Oh, yeah. Very cool.
I guess his mother had purchased that and as a safe vehicle when I was born. So, whatever. And he just kept it forever. And we just rebuilt it a bunch of times. And he kind of gave me the bug. I had some mechanical ability myself from a very young age. And that's my earliest memory, for sure.
Yeah, my family, we had several of those old Blazers back in the day, know, and then even when I got into adulthood, I had a 78, and then I had a 90, some of the last of the full size ones like that, and they're great, bulletproof.
Yeah, the top that comes off that leaks like nobody's business. You can't ever get it to not leak, and you got to keep fixing it. But there's plenty of parts available for it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the market is just endless on them things. So, what was the first thing you ever drove?
The first car that my mother ever made me drive was a 1986 300ZX. The biggest, longest clutch you've ever had in your entire life, and it was manual transmission, and it was like one of those bouncing 64 Impalas, because I was just trying to drive with the clutch, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like, I was so nerve-wracked and everything, and I think it was 15.
Those things were so cool, though. Yeah. They looked awesome.
I loved the car eventually. Yeah. But that car was a little tedious to drive. That was your first one. And the whole butt squatted.
So it was an 86, you said?
86.
So did it have the digital dash? Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
That's an iconic dash.
Yeah, I started taking the whole interior apart on that car. But digital dash. And I took the whole interior apart, and she came out there and found me taking the interior apart because I wanted to find what type of speakers are in the front doors, because I kind of got a bug to, for sound. Yeah, for an early age. But that was the first car I drove. And but yeah,
they were a great car. It was neat. Now it's a little more iconic, and you could buy them pretty cheap. I remember I looked at one when I was like 16, and the guy was like, "You think you can insure this, son?" I'm like, "Probably not.
Probably not. Just go drive it. It's fine."
Yeah,
they're gonna catch you first.
So that was your first car?
That was not my first car. It was the first car I ever drove. My mother decided to give me a 1986 Dodge Omni. That was my first vehicle that I drove around, and I called it mine, and it had a giant sound system in it, and I took it apart and did a lot of things I wasn't supposed to in it.
Sweet little hatchback.
Yeah. The funny part about it, the whole thing, is I put the mailbox letters on the back with the windows and said "One Fat Dodge."
Very nice.
Yeah. God,
that's peak.
Oh yeah, that was awesome for a 16-year-old. But a huge sound system. People would pull up laughing and everything like that. I turn it up, and people's hair would start shaking, and they're like, "Oh."
What did you have in it?
A pair of 15-inch Road Thunder 2 MTX.
Nice.
And I had a Jensen 1200 by 1 and just some. I didn't even care about the door speakers. They didn't have to
Didn't
work.
matter. It just had to boom.
Bass. Yeah.
My brother had a 86 Toyota truck. The extended cab.
Pickup.
And he had two 15s right behind the seats. And you just sit there and your eyes would be bugging out, man, because that thing would,
Yeah, exactly.
It was perfect.
It was a big thing to have big sound back in the 90s.
Oh my God.
For sure.
We didn't care about sound quality, baby, as long as you could hear me coming for blocks.
What?
Exactly.
Exactly.
It was great.
Yeah, I had a bunch of different sound systems in that vehicle. But yeah, eventually I put better speakers in the doors. I realized I don't want to hear the music along with the bass. And I went through a plethora of amplifiers and things like that. So you can see that I wound up being, a music guy as I got older too.
Yeah. And, you evolve into good sound quality, but when you're young, it just has to be loud. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It still has to be loud for me now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, now it's because we can't hear. It's fine.
What? So, I have conversations all the time when, people are like, well, I don't even really need all that. I'm getting older. I'm like, you can't hear when you get older. You need it louder. So.
Right. So what came after the Omni?
My second vehicle was a 1991 Suzuki Sidekick. It was white, lowered.
That's cool.
It had chrome wheels and it had blue graphics and had a hardtop conversion on it. And that was by far one of the funnest cars I ever had. And I absolutely destroyed that car too. It was, sound system, hydraulics. I had a whole hydraulic setup. The car caught on fire a couple times because I put too much voltage to the pumps, but it moved faster, right?
Oh yeah, something like that.
And
that's very cool.
It was awesome.
So you were into the hydraulics and everything else too, then? So you big cylinders in the back, and
yeah, I went, and I'm a big tinkerer, so I went through a bunch of different setups, and I kind of learned how that stuff worked off of that vehicle. Started off with 10-inch full size cylinders front and rear. They didn't fit in the front, but I work for a company that does a lot of welding, so I took the McPherson struts and I built adapters, and they stuck out the top, and I had full 10 inches of lift in the front, which made the front brakes didn't work too good when it was all the way up, but I still rode around all the way up all the time.
So cool.
It would sit all the way flat on the tires and everything like that. So it was a bunch of fun.
That's really neat. That's really cool. So what came after the Sidekick? Because I love those. Those are great.
So absolutely. After I destroyed that car with the hydraulics, learning on how to do these things, shaking it to death and dancing at shows, and it would do stand through motion. I got the Honda Bug, and I had a 97 EX Civic Coupe. And my buddy had the SI, and I totally dug it. And I was like, "Oh my god, that's such a great car! I can't afford it." But so I had a day-to-day job that I was working, and I made enough money to afford at least a nicer vehicle. And this was, I think, 99 at this point. So I bought a 2-year-old used. It was emerald green. Oh my god, I love that car. I had it until I was like 26. It was paid for. It was just my extra car. It was really nice, and I kept it in such good condition. And then my buddy wrecked it 2 days after he bought it. It was sad. But
very sad.
Anyway, that was a third car, and
so then that led you to. A lot of people get the Honda Bug and then they stick with it, but
I definitely had a Honda Bug. I still do, actually. I would love to have more Hondas as I get older and everything too, because it's just a brand that I love. I mean, it's dependable.
They're bulletproof, man.
They're fun.
They are.
They're dependable. They're fun. They're unlike some other brands that we're not going to mention here. My third vehicle was, I thought I had a kid by this time. I needed a little bit bigger of a vehicle, but early in the Dodge Magnum game, I bought an SXT Magnum because I need something bigger and I want a big sound system.
That was bigger.
It was definitely bigger. And when that thing dropped out, you know what I envisioned? I envisioned a surfboard on top of it, and it hammered down with big wheels and tires and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, this is going to be super cool. So I bought that one, and it had a full Diamond Audio sound system in it. And then I realized that it had new power. So I traded that one. I got it the RT. I got a brand new 07, and I got the RT, and I put 24s, and I put the Milani Cool Whips on it with the drop and the Borla aggressive exhaust, and I moved the sound system over to it.
What color was that one?
That one was black.
Black? Very cool. I always thought those were really neat.
They were definitely cool cars. And but yeah, that was like one of my favorite cars for sure.
Yeah. You had to go with the RT too, though. It was such a big, heavy car. Anything with less power made it really weak.
Yeah, I believe me. I was like, you pull up somewhere, they're like, that thing got a Hemi? And I was like, no. No.
Didn't even give me a sticker.
Yeah. So, but that was like one of my favorite cars. And then the vehicle, I'm assuming you're going to ask me the next vehicle after that. So that was during the time of the whole recession, right around that, because 07, 08 and everything like that. So I decided to take a step back. I'm like, you know what, man, that was a car I was still paying for and everything. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and trade this in. I'm going to save a little bit of money here. And I went and bought a CRX. I bought an 88 SI CRX from this kid up in the mountains. And I had big plans to motor swap it and do all this crazy stuff because I kind of want to get back into Hondas. And that was bad because then my buddy wrecked his GSR. He had a 91 GSR first gen with the 1.7 in it, and I literally transplanted every piece of that vehicle into the CRX, and it became a rock. It had no interior in it and everything, and it was a bunch of fun. And then halfway during that, I needed a car that wasn't always like taken apart. Yeah. So then a friend of mine was like, "Hey, I got this really cool 92 EX Accord Coupe," and I was like, "I really like that car too." So then I had 2 black Hondas, old school, and these are paid for cars. And I'm like, I'm trying to, to not have this crazy car payment, whatever. So I bought that car as my daily. And then of course I didn't leave that one alone a little bit. I lowered it. Not. I try to be get conservative a little bit because that was my daily.
Stock plus.
Oh yeah, I know. And I was going crazy with the CRX on the side, and I got full build pictures or anything like that. I pulled the entire engine apart. That was the first engine I ever rebuilt by myself.
I got to see some pictures of that.
I'm
a CRX junkie. So.
Yeah, well, we had that conversation. So I'm totally a CRX guy. So, cool. I would do another one too.
Well, that was the thing. The one that I have, I found it on Marketplace, and it's like didn't pay hardly anything for it. And I remember when I took my wife to go look at it, and she's like, "What are you going to do with that?" She looked at me like I was just lost my mind. You know, and I'm like, "Just wait, baby. Got ideas."
She sees a tin can, you know.
Oh my God! I took it on a little trailer that normally I haul ATVs on, but I pushed that CRX up on it and drug it home, and then we worked on it for probably 2.5 years, and her and I both sanding it down, like going over it. You know, a buddy of mine shot it and you know, did everything. We put all new interior. That was so cool. Yeah, motor swapped. A buddy of mine came up, helped me swap a B series in it. You know, it was great. Yeah, you need to do that. That's actually a good project for you and your kids.
It really is.
You know what I mean? That's the perfect car to like learn that
trade on.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to do something a little bit different with one of my younger kids. So we've already talked about. We'll get there.
So. Okay, so what came after the CRX and the Accord?
All right, let me think about this.
We got to run this gauntlet. This little
exactly. I had the CRX, and then gosh, so life changed a little bit for me, and I wound up buying a 2011 Ford Explorer. Just a little filler car. Didn't do anything to it. But honestly, what happened was I was just trying to consolidate and kind of rebuild, like, you know, some transitioning, you know, things about my life. So I got that.
Well, you're a family man, so you got to have an SUV.
I'm a family man. Yeah. I'm definitely a family man. So I got the SUV for a little bit, and I was like, this really sucks. And I didn't realize it was front wheel drive. And I was like, oh my God, this is just horrible. But it was big, and I had 2 ACs and stuff like that. So I wound up buying myself a 2015 Ford F-150, and that's actually my current daily driver. I drive it every day. I love it. I've done everything to that vehicle, but within regard to, you know, it being reliable. So it's got wheels lift.
Yeah.
It's got about 25 grand worth of sound in it. So it's full sound quality demo vehicle. So, and that's my car still up to this day. I don't think I'll ever get rid of that car. So it's really nice. But yeah, and then the vehicle to follow was, I have a 1985 Unimog, which is something a little bit more.
And we'll get into that here momentarily. Because I know everybody wants to hear about the Unimog. That's why we're here.
Right.
But of that time leading up to it, what was your favorite vehicle? What was the best car experience you had and kind of led to that passion really setting into your life?
You know, I can't even answer that question, man, because I deal with so many cars. I like so many cars. It's just impossible. I like so many cars. NSX, maybe. We had a conversation about the NSX. That's a passionate car that I still want to own personally one day.
You need to own one. You do.
I do.
It's one of those things. I love the car. The car handled great. And it looks like it's fast. But kids, it's not fast.
It's not fast.
No, but it handles great.
It's a driver.
It is.
It's a driver.
But everything works fine. If you want to jump in it and drive across country, it's perfect. It's a Honda. You know. But yeah, it was great. You got to get one.
360 Modena is another one. I like to have the 360 Modena. I've always been a Ferrari guy. And that one seems like I could take it apart, work it at my garage. And, you know, I've got people to help me out, back me up if I, you know, mess something up or need parts. So.
It's also a fabulous sounding car when you get exhaust on it. That motor sounds awesome.
Yeah. So I see the old guys driving down the street in Rousel Road, you know, and I saw a guy the other day with the yellow one and the exhaust, and I was like, oh God, I'm not that old yet, but you know, one day.
We don't talk about old man Ferraris.
But no, I mean, personally, like that was the 360 for me. Like when I saw in Dr. Dre's video back in the day in 2000, like you roll by it, I'm like, oh my God, that's the car, you know? And to this day, I just still love that iconic style. And I like the new stuff too, but you know, personal, like somebody might be able to attain myself like with no problem, and just like
there's a lot more character in those old cars though. Like there's some soul in those. You know, you listen to an old Ferrari, like compared to the new ones, you know, which sound awesome. I won't say that they don't, but it's like that soul that comes from those older ones. You know, that's intense. I love it.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Just like the cars are so expensively crazy these days. Like even if I had $1 million, you know, just laying around as a budget to blow for the car, I just wouldn't blow $1 million on. Like,
that's a good question.
It doesn't make sense though.
If you did have $5 million sitting in the bank, what would be your one dream car you'd go pick up?
God, those are hard to answer questions too as well. Probably NSX number one, 360 Modena. I really like the S65 Coupe. I mean,
That's cool.
I absolutely love the round body style, the Mercedes Benz. I love it's very comfortable.
Very cool.
It's a V12 motor. I think they killed them in 2015. So I had a customer recently just sell one, and I was like, oh my God, I want to have this car so bad. And it did everything that I told him to do on it, and it was perfect. It had Redtech tuned. We put a big sound system in it.
That's cool.
Laser jammers and everything like that.
And they are super comfortable.
Oh, they're so comfortable.
That's great.
They're just, and they got the V12 sound to them, full exhaust on it too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And they didn't give me anything for it. I'm like,
No.
You know, if I
You
had $1 million
can get some of them decent, yeah.
Yeah. So that's just that coupe Mercedes is gorgeous.
All right. Now let's get into the reason why you're here today to talk about the Unimog.
Right.
What brought you to that vehicle? It's such a beast.
Well, I helped a good friend / client acquire about 20 cars and customize them, and he got all this reaction when he purchased an H1. He was like, man, this badass a military vehicle, right?
I saw that one. You had that one out at one of the events. It was fabulous. That's
the black one that was full leather interior and everything. He was like, man, I want to buy something even better than that. And I was like, well, you like the Arnold Schwarzenegger vehicles. What about a Unimog? And he was like, what is that? I'm like, just look it up, man. They're awesome. If you want something that people will just absolutely stop in their tracks and go, what is that? Unimog's the way to go. And he went, like, one day he called me. I was like, hey, it's on its way. And I was like, what? So then it shows up and he gets in it. And I was like, well, hey, I'm tied up. Let me come over and help you unload it and stuff. He's already got it off. I think the slowest thing since sliced, the slowest thing ever. And I was like, yeah, it's a big military vehicle. So I was like, and you just pick one, like that you liked or whatever. And unfortunately, he bought the slowest one that you could possibly buy. So about, 15, 20,000 hours later with the fast gears, to make it actually keep up the speed and new tires and things like that. He's like, yeah. He's like, it's really cool, but it's just too slow. Yeah. So I wound up acquiring it from him when he was like downsizing his fleet, and and that's what I got it. I got it with pretty much bone stock. It's got the factory military tires on it when it came. It does have a conversion bed on it. That's more of like a hydraulic dump bed. It's aftermarket that will really carry things, and that's how I started with it. And I've done some upgrades over the years. I started working on it personally because it just took so long for the mechanics to like get to it and research it and
finding parts for it and all that type of stuff.
Right, and I was telling them where to buy the parts. Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna roll my sleeves up and do it myself. So I went up doing all the service on it, and they did the hard part, which is like putting the fast gears in it, so it'll actually go 45, 50 miles an hour.
Nice.
Yeah, that top speed is 45, 50 miles an hour. But yeah, I just did the service myself, and that way I can drive it around whenever I want to. And plus, I'm well versed on it. If something messes up, I have more mechanical knowledge of it, so I can fix it myself. And
what was the first thing you did on it? Was it the lift and tires? Was it the wrap? What was
so the funny thing is there's no lift on it. That's all factory. So that thing is made from the factory to climb a 1 meter boulder.
Wow.
Right. So if you want to lift it, you're pulling the cab up and you're shortening a bunch of stuff. So I'd rather just leave it alone. So I was able to get Mickey Thompson 43s on it. Wow. They are the XS Pros. Bajas, and they just bolt right on to what's already there. They come with 20s from the factory. And but for the most part, the first thing I did to it really was just to go through the maintenance and everything on it, and then I'm trying to add some creature comforts to it. So the last time I worked on it, I actually straightened out some of the wiring, and I do plan on adding a little bit of some electronics to it. So I added a camera to the back so I can see behind me because it's hard to see behind me. So I've got all that stuff pre-run. I haven't put the monitor on the dash, but I do plan to add some electronics to it, like a screen and a little stereo to it and everything, and maybe an air conditioning.
And there's like a few different iterations of the Unimog. So what is this?
So there's the round style and there's a square style. I think the square style is called SBU, and they're more of like a road-going vehicle. It's meant to tow big stuff. They're much larger in size. The one I have is more of a round style vehicle. So it's a 406. Mine's a 416. There's a 412, and the difference between them are what they're purposely built for. Mine's more of like an agricultural type vehicle, so you can hook up a front like a plow or a real plow or a front like mower.
That's pretty cool.
It's got the full takeoff accessories that you can put on. You can put like a snow plow on the front of it and everything too. too.
I bet your neighbors would be really impressed you mowed the lawn.
Yeah,
mowed the yard with it.
Yeah, with my tractor truck, right? It's a little more tractor than it is truck, but I mean it's very purpose done. It's meant to be able to get into really tough to reach places like disaster relief and carry things out. Like you can go up to a mountain, carry a bunch of boulders back down safely, and
very cool.
It's all really cool. But this one is this one's got full air system that's driven off the engine. It's got a hydraulic setup that's actually run off the rear PTO for the hydraulic dump bed. Cool. It's more of a dump truck. That's it's been repurposed that way. And then I had the camo wrap, and I added like a winch, and I added some of the lighting to it and everything too.
What year is it?
It's a 1985. It's a 1100U, and it's got the OHM 352 engine in it. That's naturally aspirated, so there's no turbo on it. So it's a slug, but it's the most reliable engine they have.
And I'm sure it's very low horsepower rated, but what's the torque rating on that thing?
I don't know the torque rating, but I did come across reading about it. They are 95 horsepower.
Yeah, but usually those things are like really low horsepower, and then it's got
it's the gearing.
It's got crazy torque, and then the gears on it's like,
like first gear will
pull your house off the foundation.
Exactly. Well, they can pull trains. Yeah. They were moving the big space shuttle into like the lockers and everything with the Unimogs and everything too. So cool. They can tow airplanes. Yeah. So they can tow a ton. But that's just how the drive line is set up. It's got full air lockers from the factory too. So if you get into a situation where you need to lock all the wheels together, it's all on board. Just flip a little switch and you're ready to go. It's a purpose vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really neat. I noticed the customer app, like you mentioned earlier. That's pretty cool. Did you do that yourself? Or?
No, I got a good friend of mine owns Sir Rap's Customs, and I got him. I've been begging him to do this for a long time. I use him for a lot of jobs that I do out of my profession and everything like that. And I just had this cool idea to make kind of like a snow camo like feel to it.
It looks tough.
Yeah,
it looks really tough.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Love that. And how long have you had the wrap on it?
I've had it for like 2 months, so it's actually fairly new. Okay, it's pretty fairly new. I've been doing a lot of the research, just some upgrades. The door panel cards were kind of old and shabby and everything, so in house I got a friend of mine to kind of redesign door panels for me, he CNC milled them and put the Unimog logo into them and stuff like that. So I plan to maybe market them as well. Yeah. One thing I like to say, the Unimog community is the absolute best community of car people ever in the entire world. I've been a part of exotic Hondas, Atlanta car scene, Porsche car scene, whatever. And, you get the guys, all the haters that come and pop up and like, oh, that's, whatever. They just know better than you. These guys want to help. They post up information to help you learn about these vehicles and the way that they behave. And you can answer questions and they're totally cool. They'll even send you stuff. They're like, hey, I've got this extra parts laying around. If you just pay the shipping, you can have it.
Perfect.
Wow.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah. So
you don't get that from the Porsche and Ferrari guys. I'll tell you that.
No. Although there's some good guys out there.
Well, there is, but
there's guys that just know better than you do, and it's like, really, man, we're here to learn. We're trying to help each other, not necessarily hurt each other. But it's an ego thing. But guys, it's just a different breed of people.
Yeah, there's this is really cool. You should get this, or I've got a spare. Go. That's super.
Or you drive around and find one, and you're like, oh my god, look, you can find this one and see if you can go and buy it. Because people love those cars.
How long have you had it?
2.5 years, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, 2.5 years, and it just the gearing thing took 8 months because it took ordering the gears, putting them in. They weren't correct, so I had to send them back. They're all coming from the United Kingdom. And then getting another set, putting them in there. That one didn't work that good. And then we had to get a third set. That was the charm. So we got that done. And then getting the tires to balance correctly on the wheels was a pain in the butt.
I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, they're huge.
They're big slugs.
Did they just use the floating weights that in there? Is that what they did?
No, they actually did full physical weights on them, and they're all said and done. And the other thing I found out after we put those tires on there is those tires, if they sit for more than a week, develop flat spots. So you have to kind of warm the tires up a little bit before you put them on the street. Otherwise, it's just beating you to death. I mean, it might beat you to death anyway, but it's just learning. It's just a learning curve.
What's the furthest you've driven that thing?
The furthest I've driven is probably to. I drove it to work and back one day, which is a pretty big haul, and it's just because there's no air conditioning.
No air conditioning, 45 mile an hour top speed, and
we're in traffic.
It really is a lumber wagon.
It is a lumber wagon. Seriously.
You know?
It's a dump truck.
Yeah.
You know? And I think when I took it to work, it was full of bricks in the back too. So I've been moving.
It probably rode better, actually.
No,
the more
way
weight.
better.
Yeah.
It didn't miss a beat whatsoever. I put the bricks in it, and it didn't miss a beat whatsoever. So it definitely rode better. But that was probably the longest drive, just like one day to work and back. You know, land traffic's pretty bad anyway. People don't understand that thing that can't stop quickly.
Yeah.
You know, so they want to jump in front of you and slam the brakes, and it's like you almost died.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't understand that.
The jaws of life is a real thing for these people.
So what are some of your future plans for it?
Air conditioning. There's a couple like little bug things that I'd like to fix in it, just traditional things. So I'm just weeding a couple things out, but for the most part, you know, I air conditioning is a big thing.
Do you hook up like a basic like vintage air system?
No, there's not enough space.
How do you?
It's a big vehicle, but it's very small and compact. I mean, it's kind of like an H1, like the engine is sitting in between you. And then you have this tiny little hole that your legs sit in. The passenger doesn't even have that hole, so they're sitting with their knees up. So it's small, but what you do is you actually cut a roof unit into it.
Oh, that's cool.
So most of the big, like you see the really big cool, there's a new one that they came up with recently that is more like Brabus style, like luxury vehicle. And, you know, they're advertising. People really think it's cool. It's got a roof unit. It looks kind of
like a little low profile roof unit to go on top of that. That's kind of neat.
Or you can get a full size one if you want real air conditioning. But I think that the idea is to put some type of roof rack on top of it with lights that kind of hide it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm about aesthetics. I'm an aesthetics guy for sure. So I want it to look like it's supposed to be there from the factory. So the lighting is done purposely, and you know the AC will be really nice. And, to have like the camera system just so you don't run people over behind you.
There was
a little bit of tunes.
A buddy of mine just put into his Grenadier, and I can't remember the name of the system, but it was a camera front, back, and sides.
Wolf
and all.
Box.
Yeah, it was. That's exactly what it was. And he's like, "You got to get one of these for your H2," because he goes, "This is." And I drove it, and it was voice command. And I'm like, "Front camera." I'm like, "Dude, that's so cool."
Yeah, they're definitely cool. Yeah.
Like, you know,
the Grenadier guys, man, they found the Wolf Box quickly, and so I've very well experienced with that.
Yeah, and that would be perfect, especially on something that big, because you can't really tell what you're crawling on top of.
Right.
You know,
surprisingly, that vehicle turns like a Wrangler, so you can do like it'll do a hairpin turn, and it'll fit into a traditional spot, but it's just really like wide and tall. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I parked next to a lifted GMC 2500 that had 7 inches of lift, 37s, and it was taller than that. I'm like, wow.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
I know. I was thinking I was going to get a picture of my my H2 next to it, because I'm like, the H2's big. This is bigger.
Yeah.
It's way bigger.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah,
it'll maneuver around like really well, too.
That's cool. That's cool. So, you want to do some more with the air conditioning. You want to like maybe add more cameras. Any other like fun things? I mean, is there anything else you want to do with?
Eventually, I'd like to restore the cab, because I mean, it's an older vehicle. It's got a little bit of rust here and there. The camo kind of helped out me having to like, you know, I'm really OCD. So if I start something, it's going to go way too far. So I thought about just stripping the whole cab down, because it's actually fairly easy to take the cab off. But then once you go down that rabbit hole, you're going to find everything, and then I'm going to get OCD, and I'm going to go way too far. So I'm like, there's just camo, just for the time being. But eventually, you know, I would love to strip it down and make it like new.
Yeah. So what color is it underneath the wrap?
So all of these were imported, and they were like an orange. So you'll find like little hints of orange where the paint isn't quite there anymore. But yeah, you'll see a lot of them. They're all orange from the factory.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
They're manufactured in Germany. They actually have a short VIN code, so it's a little hard to get insurance on them as well. But it is a traditional vehicle in a sense that it doesn't have air brakes. It's got an air assisted brakes. So
really,
unlike hydraulics, where you're using your foot and the hydraulics get pushed to the line, it does that. And then you have vacuum. You actually have pressurized air, because it's got an air system on board.
That's really cool.
So, but the air tank is exposed too, so you can plug an air line into it and air up your tires, or you can use machines and everything like that too.
That's really neat. And it still doesn't want to stop because it weighs so dang much, and you can't get it.
It's just really heavy. Yeah. I think it's 4 tons. So it's a pretty big vehicle, for what it is. I do plan on putting like a nice train horn. I've also wanted the trucker horn. You know what I mean, the trucker's pull string.
You got something like that, because the kids are always going down the highway like.
Yeah, honk.
That's cool.
Well, it's got this like Honda horn, you hit it, meep meep. So it's got like it really does. People, I pull up to like little car shows and I hit that, and they're like, well,
people cut you off and they're like, you got to be kidding me.
They don't cut me off very much. So. They like to stop in front of you because they don't understand, but they don't cut me off. They're more like, oh my God, this guy's going to run me over. Yeah. So it's like a tractor running in front of me. It's got giant tires.
Yeah. That's really cool. So, like, in the future, what other vehicles do you think you're going to put in the stable that can sit next to that big beast?
I would like a Type R Civic, man. That's like, I think that's my next vehicle. Already got it like mapped out of my head how I want it. That's my next daily. That's going to sit next to my F-150. I think I'll always have
older Type R or
the new one.
Oh,
I like the newer one, man. I really do. Just it's just such a gorgeous design. It's just it's more subtle than the last one.
It is,
and they're available. Because back in the day you had to import one that's right-hand drive, and I just can't drive on the right. I just can't do it. I don't like it. I just can't do it. But yeah, the new one's just beautiful. I actually just did a full one for a customer. He had the old one, and then we moved to the new one. And we did full sound, laser radar, tint. We protected all the paint and stuff like that. And he was like, "You should rip on it." And I'm like, "Don't tell me twice." And I go ripping on it. I'm like, "This is it."
That's so great.
It's
That's
practical.
So
I'm a practical kind of guy. I'm not, whatever.
Obviously, you drive around in a Unimog. It's a very practical vehicle.
It's very practical.
What's the gas mileage on that thing?
2 gallons per mile.
Perfect.
Yeah, 2 gallons of diesel per mile. So $10 to go 2 miles.
So pull out a second mortgage on the house if you want to take a trip.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, Brian, thank you very much for coming down.
It's been a pleasure.
And spending some time with us. Hey, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so that way you see when we come back up again. We'll see you next week here on Full Throttle Files.